Hey guys, so today I want to talk about this thing I've been seeing on especially Twitter, but social media as a whole kind of thing, and it's for a while now. So like basically it's like, oh it'll be like somebody will retweet something and be like, oh, what's your toxic trait? And then they'll be like, mine is I care too much about people, or I give people too many. That's not a toxic trait, babe. No. The humble brag you're trying to do was a toxic trait, but not caring about people too much. That is never a bad thing. And so I just kind of wanted to go over from my own, like always, my own experiences, what I've seen in other people, what I have done myself that are toxic traits and stuff like that. And you know, like just that Twitter humble, that shit's not cute. Like don't do it. It just makes you look like an ass. But toxic traits are hard to admit within yourself and kind of easy to pick out in other people. Essentially it's just something that makes you toxic to be around, like lying and gaslighting, you know, cheating, obvious things like that, clearly abuse and stuff like that. But also like along like this is something I used to do, along that same vein of lying and stuff would be, I had an ex who would ask me if I was happy, and maybe in that moment, that singular moment, I would have said yes. But overall, I wasn't, and I knew I wasn't, but I said yes, continuing and perpetrating this lie that we had a solid relationship when we didn't on either side, because we both had toxic traits that we weren't addressing and fixing and things like that. This is one I've been working on for a while, and it's jealousy. I'll get jealous over stupid shit, and I'll be asking myself, I'm like, why is this your first go-to emotion? I've gotten better about it because I've acknowledged it and been like, okay, we are going to work on this, instead of just saying something because the jealousy is making you say that. Think about why you're jealous. Is there an actual reason for you to be jealous, or are you just being dumb? 99% of the time I'm just being dumb. So you don't realize how much you use core strength till you try to put a water bottle lid on with just your arms, because you can't use your core at the moment. So, you know, stuff like that. Other toxic traits I've seen, like, again, gaslighting, and then that kind of goes, that's an even bigger thing, but just not being open and honest with yourself, let alone other people. But you can't start to fix these things until you're just like, okay, I see this problem, I see this pattern, it's me, I need to work on it, I need to adjust it. And that's not to say other people can't help you with that, but don't rely solely on other people. You gotta fix yourself. But also, like, other things I've seen people do, and I might be kind of on the other end of this spectrum too, but I'll see a lot of people, men, women, whoever, doesn't matter, go from one relationship to another. They might date somebody for years and years and years, end it, not be over the relationship at all, maybe give it a month, be like, okay, I'm over it, and they're not over it, and jump into another relationship, and like basically be serial relationshipist. It's like they never they never commit or anything like that. Because they never fully get over everything. They never fully know what they want out of a relationship and stuff like that. They don't take a second to stop and be like, okay, what do I want from a partner, but what can I give as a partner? And I say I'm probably on the other side of that spectrum, because I don't really date, as we've talked about in the dating sucks video. But I and there's that, and then I'll get into a relationship, it'll last a while, and then it'll end, however it ends, and then I won't want to talk to anybody, do anything for ages and like years, which is probably a bit excessive, honestly. And so I think both sides of that spectrum, I don't know why an F was trying to come out, but a spectrum needs to find balance. And then again, that's something I need to work on. I don't like people though. But yeah, that's stuff I see. And then just like, we kind of talked about this in the unlearning thing, like being judgmental is toxic as hell. And a lot of times that'll come from a place where you're not happy with yourself, you're not happy with what you're at in life. I know I have like no voice, but and just because everything's not lining up the way you want it to in your life, and you see somebody else over there, you know, doing whatever they want, and then you're just like, well, they're not making good choices. When you don't know the background of their decision, you don't know how much thought put into their decision or anything like that, you just don't know, and you're just judging to judge, which is toxic. It makes you look like you are a shitty person when you do that. So it makes you look like shitty. People start to judge you and be like, I don't want to be around that. If you're judging that person you don't even know, then what are you saying about me and behind my back? You know, that kind of thing. So, you know, toxicity it can get into little things and little everyday things you don't even think. You just kind of have to be very self-aware that, okay, why am I envious of this person? Is it because I'm just not happy with myself or what I'm doing? Are these things I can fix and these are things I can achieve? Or is it something else? And then, like, I think some people will say, what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say ambitious, but that's not it at all. I've seen where people will be like, oh, I'm really in awe of this person. God, if only I had their talent, you know, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, do you work towards that? Because from a lot of things that I've done and I've seen other people done, friends, people, creators, and everybody else, it takes practice. Like if you see Picasso's early works, they look nothing like his near the end of his life works, and it was a progression, and the end of his life works make far more money because he was more famous by that amount of time. But you know, it's just, toxicity can like also be like self-doubt and stuff like that. I'm kind of going all over the place. I'm still recovering from surgery, so I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I could just not put up a video, but why would I do that? Anyways, but they're saying it's just like toxicity can be, it erodes at yourself, your self-worth, it erodes at other people. When you spew text, when you're always saying, oh, I wish I could be like that, I wish I had this talent, blah, 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 constantly, and you don't practice anything, you don't do anything, you don't put in any effort to do that, become like that, or be better, or, you know, stop the lying, stop the gaslighting, and associating what's going on in your own brain that's making you do this, then you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to be stuck in the same old rut that you don't like being in because of these toxic behaviors and traits that you're not addressing and actually getting rid of, and trying to cover them up and being like, oh, well, I just care too much. That's my only toxic trait. I'm a perfect person. You're not, and you're making yourself look like an ass, like I said. So those are the toxic traits I could think of for myself. I'm sure there are a ton more. Yeah, like always showing up late. It's not necessarily a toxic trait. It's just an annoying trait. I tried working on it and I just don't anymore. I just don't. Thank goodness for the schedule button, because they would not be up at 10:30 every day, every Monday through Friday without that. But yeah, I'm always showing up late, and I get angry and annoyed really easily, and that's something, again, that does relate back to anxiety somewhat, but that's something I've been trying to work on, just, you know, try not to snap at people for no reason, and things like that. So yeah, I have a ton. The internet has a ton, so anyone who's trying to act like they're a perfect person, they are not. Don't believe it. So yeah, what are your toxic, if you want to talk about it, if you've addressed this, what are your toxic traits? Let's see them in the comments. Let's get a real honest discussion thread going. And yeah, boop that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. I love you. Bye.